Well, last we left off, the three of you have been witness to a murder by of the man who you know to have shipped Half-Flame over from the mountain pass to the east into the city of Moltug. The man who's found you at the scene asks you for an account of what you believe happened. If you wish to give one, you may. If you wish to simply skip ahead to the next scene, we can. I do not mind either way.
Ridir will give his account according to what happened from his perspective, at least.
Okay. How much detail do you include of your meetings within the guild hall?
I mean, we didn't really do much in the guild hall, did we?
No, but you met with one of the people who works there, and it is technically relevant to the situation.
Fair, I would include that then.
Okay. And how about any methods of travel, such as the wizards' houses?
I'll keep that since it is a transport trade secret.
All right. Any other two of you?
I think Ilya already told the person what happened in that moment, at least.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if I would really have anything to add. Well, I guess sort of just well, I mean, I think she'd share about what she heard at the market, and also like that she was following and that a person was close to her. Like, yeah.
All right. Good to know. As you share these stories, the man motions you to start walking with him, and by the time it's done, you're up in a building near the guild hall. Some sort of jail / courthouse kind of building. It's a bit further away from the docks themselves, and it's not an urgent building for them. But it's this close because there tend to be quite a lot of rowdy sailors who need to spend a night in spend a night away from others, so to speak. And it's good to have it close to hand. They just never built one further south for the residents or anybody else, and just expanded this one instead. Well, I suppose that's all the details we get out of you three. And this one, any sort of motions to the guy he's been lagging on. I'll take this one here in and deal with him if you don't mind waiting outside.
Well, I suppose, is there not anything we could do in the meantime to help?
Now that you mention it, I think for a moment. Let me get my notes. Tell you what, come inside. It'll be. He sort of realizes sort of something that he hadn't figured out before. And sort of looks up at the rooftops. Probably be a bit safer.
Ah. Well, fair enough. You never know who might be, what's scary, but people might be up on the roofs.
He leads you inside and just motions for you to sit on a nearby wooden bench, and nods to the person who's at the reception desk and takes the other man inside. It's probably about 15 minutes or so before he returns, carrying some notes. My office is this way, and turns around and heads back in. Do you follow?
Yeah.
Okay. You follow him into his office. It's not particularly messy or clean. It's sort of there's some level of organization, and there's not papers all over the floor, but it certainly seems as if he's usually on the back foot when it comes to these sorts of investigations. He sits down and puts the notes that he was carrying on his desk, and right. He motions to the singular chair, and then realizes that he's only got one sort of. Sorry. He.
Good standing.
Yep, fair enough. Do any of you want to take the chair?
No, Ilia's fine standing.
Was there any chairs in the room we came from?
No, just like a large wooden bench or two. The sort that seats like 5 or 6 people.
Oh.
Yeah. He
Radir will just sit on the ground. It doesn't really change his height much.
Okay. He leads through his notes of something you mentioned, the half-flame stuff. We have been looking into that as well, and knowing that the two are connected does seem I might get some more information out of this. You said Seekers, correct?
I look over at Ilya.
I believe so, yeah.
Let's see. Pulls out another folder and that seems to be collecting the notes on secret activity in the area, and sort of starts rifling through it. He's now got 3 stacks of paper on his desk, one for the new investigation, one for the half-flame, and one for the.
Oh boy.
I think you can quickly see how his desk starts to get quite crowded.
I'm kind of looking carefully at the documents while he's looking for the other folder. Do I spot anything interesting?
Make a perception investigation check. Probably perception if you're just glancing.
It's gonna be the same result anyway, so.
Okay. Were you still looking for anything interesting in any specific folder, or just generally?
No, just in general, if there's anything that sticks out.
It's a bit difficult to read the upside down writing, but you can see a few underlined words and sort of highlighted parts and things like that. And as he sort of goes through, he finds a page that, before he sort of pulls it up to read closer, you can see that there's, in sort of larger writing, it's a list of known seekers residing in this town.
All right.
He's not listed here, so that's a good sign, given what you've told me about who he was working for. But we don't have any changelings listed. Of course, that doesn't mean anything. Could easily have just impersonated somebody else. Sort of closes the folder, sort of puts a hand to his forehead. This is going to be a bit of a mess. We're not even getting. He just rambles for a moment. Sorry. Right. We do have a known Seeker base of operations. They. Sort of tilts head side to side. It's not that we officially know that they're there, and we do try to make sure we keep out of their way unless they start problems, which this would very much count as. But as I'm sure you're aware, he nods to Radir, underground contacts and all that.
Well, how about we strike a little deal? We're not really affiliated with any organization. It could just so happens that we stumble upon it.
Well,
How do you say grins?
he sort of looks at you sort of appraisingly. Good idea. I suppose if you were to be asking around about the Seekers, it wouldn't be out of the question for one of our informants to happen to be within earshot. And if it just so happened that that this was done in a crowded area where there almost guaranteed to be secret activity, then they wouldn't. Then you'd have an ironclad alibi. How does that sound?
Well, considering our part in it, what are we talking?
What do you mean?
He holds his hand in a circular shape.
As in...
Money.
Ah, okay. As in, like, being paid or, like, wanting to pay him for the corporation?
Being paid.
Okay. He sort of looks at you, sort of... I'll dig through and see what we can find. But, for, I suppose, if nothing else, given the situation you've already been put in and inconveniences to you as travellers, there is I think there's a chart somewhere. He sort of pulls out a full folder and full of, it seems to be full of charts of sort of jail sentences for standardized jail sentences for specific crimes or things like that. And sort of, let's see, reimbursement of travellers for this. See, there's a starting reimbursement of for inconveniences at 20 gold a person. Plus, since you're helping in the investigation, that will put it up to about 50 each. Of course, if you end up being major assets in the solving of this case and bringing them to justice, there will be an additional bonus at the end.
Well, I'd say we're a bit more crucial than that, considering this connection would not have been existing for you without all my help.
I agree with you, but charts are charts and rules are rules, and besides, he sort of turns the file around.
Well, I thought we were quite clear about this. You're not allowed to technically intervene with this, so this isn't really above board, so
Make a
above
persuasion
board
check.
shots don't really quite apply.
Make a persuasion check. Whew! Okay. He, fine. He, pulls out another folder, which looks exactly the same, except that it's marked with a sigil. I'd like you all to make a perception check, please. Having looked for so
Oops,
many,
yeah, I
having
still
looked,
have it
it's
on.
fine. Having looked for so many papers before, Radia, you do not catch the symbol, since you were too interested in looking at the actual information
Yeah.
itself. I just say you're sort of too focused on other things at the moment. Ilya, however, you catch this symbol. It's it seems to be an hourglass with a line struck through it diagonally.
Mm.
He opens the folder, and it seems to be more of the same charts, but as he goes through, you see much larger numbers on there. I suppose the underground rate is at least double, usually. He sort of looks... Traveller's reimbursement's always still the same, 20, but for involvement in a case such as this, base rate's 30 as I gave you, but double that for underground business to keep you dumb. So we're looking at 80 total to start. Sound better for you?
I suppose. As long as you could also perhaps throw in a word with the guild.
Don't worry. All the underground business gets back to us and the guy you met with earlier in the end.
I say on my part, it sounds acceptable.
Very well then. I'll Alright, you three wait. If you three want to wait outside, I can get things sorted for you. See if I can get a word out to one of our people to be hanging around somewhere, docks or a market, wherever you think is most appropriate.
Well, I could use, personally at least, looking at the other, I could use a bit of a rest before we strike.
Well, Soldier still does have an adjacent inn. It's probably about mid-afternoon by this point, by the way, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Soldier does have an adjacent inn. Although, he sort of thinks about it. Part of me wonders if leaving this too long might cause more issues.
Well,
Still.
Spread the rumors until evening, and during the night we strike.
That could work. Well, I'll set you up with someone waiting at the inn. I think there's usually a seeker down there somewhere. But it wouldn't surprise me if there's not. Either way, the innkeeper will be able to verify your story. So, you got that going for you at least. That's for the
Well
info.
then.
Just ask the innkeep if what you know about if he knows anything about seeker doings here, and I'm sure your informant will overhear the conversation. Yeah, so give me a moment to sort that out and get your pay for you. He leaves the folders open on his desk as he leads you out of the room. It doesn't take too long, about 20 minutes or so of waiting again before he's back. He hands you each a bag of gold. You can add 80 gold to your totals. I'll add yours since you said your Chrome is crashing.
Yeah.
None of you are spending it.
I mean, I kind of need it for diamonds later on.
True, yes.
I'm
but-
saving it for ship upgrades still.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I did say I'm not saving.
Yeah, she is. She's spending.
That's fair, that's fair. Just opening Ilias and having over 700 gold is,
I mean, as I said before, I'm going for a clipper. That's gonna cost.
That's fair, that's fair. But yeah. Well, if you're done draining us dry, get out. He says it good-naturedly, though.
I kind of jokingly and sarcastically go, well, if you're gonna be in that side, I suppose there could be some additional fees added on. And then I turn and leave.
He snorts and just, don't tempt me. As you leave, you see a couple of people carrying what seems to be a covered stretcher, making their way towards you. Do you let them through?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just passed through into the building you just left. You had assumed they were carrying the body that was there before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you make your way directly to the inn then?
I do, at least. I don't know about the others.
Ilya would too. She's kind of a little shaken, I would say.
Fair enough. And I just said?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, since that's where we'll get the information now,
Yeah, okay.
she'll head there.
Okay. You make your way to the inn. Sort of, okay, the Zodi Seal has like a sign on the side of the, on the side of a building, just saying sort of rooms this way, and leads you a couple of minute walk to a building that's a few alleys back from the from the docks directly. It's a fairly well kept building, not at all in the style of the tavern itself. With there's a decent sized waiting room with a few people sitting around. One or two of them nursing drinks. The innkeep sees you kind of how can I help you three?
I'd like a room, and then I kind of pull out my letter of introduction from the guild.
He sees it and just nods. One each, or
I look towards the others.
I think I might pass on one for now.
alright. So just two then? Looking at Ilya.
Yeah.
Alright, that's 5 silver each then. Just the one night?
I believe so would be enough.
Alright, 5 silver it is. I've marked yours, Ilya.
Mine is free.
Ah, yes, of course. Guild member.
Guild approves lodging.
Fair enough, fair enough. He sort of-
Including pay for my funeral.
Okay,
What?
he's... Yeah, he sort of...
Yeah, your fellow guild members will provide you with lodging and food if necessary, and pay for your funeral if needed.
Oh my god.
That's part of the guild membership.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, your 5 gold a month goes into a trust fund. They invest it. Oh dear. He hands over the 2 room keys then. Well, anything else you're looking for while you're staying here?
Well, I mean, well, maybe shouldn't say this too loudly, but
At this point, I've gone up my room and started a long rest.
As you're as you're walking to the stairs, you see someone sitting between the innkeep and the stairs just sort of catch your eye and sort of tap twice on the table. A signal that you as a guild you would know as a guild member as just a sort of just a notice of being there, basically.
Gotcha.
Do you head up still directly?
Yeah.
Okay. So you ignore the questioning for now, then?
I'll leave that to the others and take a long rest.
Okay. So then you two, then? Back to the questioning?
yeah. So, Adisai continues. Well, you don't happen to know anything about some seekers?
At the mention of them, the barkeep sort of stills for a moment and then rests his hands on the table, rests his hands on the bar in front of him. Well, I try to keep myself out of their business. And he taps twice on the he taps his left his sort of the fingers of his left hand twice on the desk in front of him. But there's rumours here and there. Some nasty business went down earlier today, from what I've heard. They're involved. Other than that, they tend to keep a low profile. Roll perception checks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well.
roll stealth checks. Okay. You both notice that sitting in the other corner is a human woman who seems to be one of the few nursing a drink. Hearing the mention of nasty business, she can't keep herself from glancing over in your direction. And with the stealth checks, she doesn't notice you also glancing over at her at the same time.
Oh boy.
The barkeep sort of shakes his head. Nah, foul stuff. Well, I won't keep you. Looks to just say. Guess you'll be staying somewhere else then?
I guess you could say that, yes.
To yourself. Off you go. He turns back to his ledgers and starts making notes of your arrival.
Ilya would then just head to the room.
Okay. And where does Aegisai go?
Yeah, so, she, okay. Let's just see here. I think... Okay, why not? I think she'll yeah, she wants to cast a message to the woman who looked over at them.
Okay.
So I assume then that she hears in her mind suddenly, I noticed you perking up when you heard nasty business. Care to talk about that?
A moment. You see her sort of on her drink. And a moment later, you hear back in your mind. Keep out of our business.
Oh. I think she'll head over there.
As you do, the woman glares at you. Do you sit down opposite her?
She says, "May I?" and sits down before waiting for an answer.
And she glares at you so much that you feel as if you should be taking psychic damage.
She is grinning back.
She just, after a moment, she just shakes her head. Ugh. What the hell are you getting involved with?
Oh. You know. Just some investigation. You see, I don't particularly like when... well... people become victims.
She sneers at you. Don't particularly like when people break agreements. There we are.
I see. So an agreement was broken, you say?
She realizes she's already said too much and sort of, I better report. Tell the boss we've got people sticking their noses where they don't belong. Might
Oh.
get cutting off.
Well, you can tell them hi from me.
Do you have a name?
Well, you can call me Hydrangea.
She drains the rest of her drink. Pretty flower. Flammable. And with that, she leaves. As she leaves, there's a moment or two's gap before the man who is by the stairs stands up and walks over to you. May I? He sort of gestures to the seat that she was occupying before.
Oh, please.
He nods and sits down. Sort of leans in a bit. Well, are you trying to stir them up?
It wouldn't be as fun if not.
Strange. Well, I suppose if nothing else, they won't have a record of our meeting here. The underground of the city likes to keep its informants safe. I suppose you chasing her off keeps me in the clear. She'll report back that you're snooping and not have to worry about reporting that you spoke to me afterwards. It's pretty good.
Well, I'm happy to help.
Yeah. He sort of jokes us it up at the innkeeper sort of nods and starts pouring a drink for him. Well then. Since you're asking around, Seekers have a base eastern side of town. One of the buildings near the edge. They've not been here long, so there haven't been too many buildings built up to make it further inland, so to speak. They like to get close to the east for some reason. Some of the informants out that side of the city keep saying that they end up just walking off inland, coming back. Not sure where they're going, but some sort of meeting space.
Ah. Well, interesting.
Let's see here. He sort of pulls out a parchment and hands it over to you. Look at that later. It's a pretty rough map, but it'll show you which building we think is theirs.
Well, that will come quite useful.
They run a legitimate front as a sort of last stop general store for those heading out east who forgot to buy anything at some place earlier. Absolute killer prices, though. To be fair, though, if people are desperate, they're willing to buy anything for any price.
Well, that's fair enough.
I don't like the idea of them funding secret activity, but it's not like we can tell them to stop if we want the Seekers to go even further underground. Better to keep an eye on them. Besides, we got someone on the inside siphoning a bit of the gold, so it's not too bad.
Well, that's something.
You guys heading there soon?
Indeed, I was at least planning that.
Well, take care. As soon as news gets back to them that there's people snooping, they're gonna be alert.
Oh. Well, I'm pretty alert myself.
Good to hear. You're just one person, though. They've got a fair few more than that. Gotta have that many in a place like this, if you want to keep ears to the ground.
Well, the more the merrier.
Sort of. The bartender brings his drink over and he just downs it, and he downs the whole pint in one go. Just sort of. That helps. Right. Alright. Don't die on me, alright? And he flips the bartender a few silver and heads off.
Yeah.
What do you want to do afterwards, now that that's over?
Yeah. I suppose. Where did Ilya keep the tooth from Hadisai?
Somewhere in a pocket, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess I could send a message, or
You could.
do you not?
I mean, I'm assuming that that the tooth is a sort of conduit for that sort of thing. I forget the
Yeah.
exact limitations of the message spell, but I know people have used it like inside buildings before in other
Well,
campaigns. So
the eerie token is a bit special, like
Yeah, I would
telepathic message, as long as you are within 10 miles of a creature holding or carrying the token.
Yeah, I would definitely allow that.
Great. So Ilya here is. I know where their base is.
Well, that's good. Should probably tell Redia as well.
So it's about
Yes.
4 in the afternoon. 4 in the afternoon at this point, and Radia's in for a long rest. You said.
Yes.
Okay.
Because his plan the entire time was essentially they're going to be on alert because they knew there were 3 people trying to stop them from like silencing that guy.
Yeah.
They're going to be on alert right now.
Yeah.
So we might as well wait until night when they kind of drop their guard and strike under the cover of night because they won't be alert during that.
Yeah, and your spell slot's back.
That too. But also, someone just made them even more alert, which he doesn't know about. But
Yeah, he doesn't. Well, yep. So that's going to be interesting. So I guess you tell Radia then that I just knows where the base is?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, yeah, never mind. And then when he wakes up, you hear there's the sound of snoring far too large for such a small body emanating from his door.
Ilya is now, what's the word? Disturbed.
I mean, it's not like murderously loud. It's just that you
It's
can
too
hear
loud
it.
for such a tiny body.
Yes, you can hear it through the door.
Yeah, now she's definitely disturbed. She's gonna have nightmares.
I don't know how you managed to do the snoring with the accent.
What?
You were snoring in accent.
With Radia's accent.
I don't know.
This is gonna be a thing now, isn't it? Snoring in accent.
Oh dear. But yeah. So, I just say, what do you want to do with the next 8 hours?
Yeah. I think she says through the token. Actually, yeah, she has the map. So what she could do maybe is ask the innkeeper if maybe he has something that she could draw with and on.
If anything, Ilya has painter's supplies. Could probably just use that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if you're going up to the room or not, I guess.
I mean, I can also just come down again. It's not like I'm chained to this room now.
Fair enough.
She just has
Yeah.
to tell me. But I would assume
Uh,
that she does, so...
Yeah, she'll tell you through a message that. So, I guess I was thinking of doing some advanced scouting, you might say. So, well, I have this map, but I feel like I would need one as well to head there. Otherwise, I would leave it with you.
I don't know if scouting alone would be the smartest choice. I wouldn't mind coming with you, but I think Radia would still need some kind of message and probably a map himself, yeah.
Indeed. I suppose if you want to come with me, then how about do you perhaps have anything? Oh yes. When we were at that house, I think I remember you having something to draw with.
Oh, my painter's supplies, yeah.
Oh, well, maybe a quick copy of this we could leave him with, either the original or
Yeah, that
the
shouldn't be a
copy.
problem.
And well, might as if we are going to be going together, we might as well leave the tooth as well.
100%. I guess Ilya's just gonna head down with her stuff.
Yep. Nice. So I imagine then we copy the map and
Write Radia a little note with the tooth attached, I don't know.
yes.
Probably just, he probably locked the door, huh? So we can't just go in. I have no idea
yes.
what you said.
We can leave it with the innkeeper.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So we do that and we head off.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys are going to go advanced scouting then, and leaving the key with the innkeeper?
Yes.
Alright. Okay, you head over towards the east then. It's probably about at least an hour's walk over to that side of town.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hide your appearances in any way?
Oh, good question.
That is a good question. I don't think Ilya has a hood. Does she? Let me see. You can't really tell if she has one. Let's just say she has a hood.
It's only good for 1 hour.
I mean, depends. You could. How many times can you reapply it?
Disguise self. I
Yeah.
have 1 free per day.
Okay, and then it's
Or
just
for
a
long
tier 1
rest.
spell slot?
It's a tier. Yes, it's a tier 1. So.
Okay, so you've got... actually, does upcasting it increase the duration at all? I don't think it does.
No, I don't. No, there's no upcasting to it.
Okay, so you've got...
Yeah, I could technically for 5 at most.
Yeah.
But
Well, 6 plus the free one, so 7. But that's still probably too much.
yeah, with the level 2 spell. Yeah, but she's not wanting to use that much on it. So I don't think she'll do anything in particular then.
Okay.
Since it'll be so long anyway.
Yep, that's fair. Okay. So you just end up heading out east, just in your standard outfit with Ilya with a hood up, basically.
Yeah, I look shady as shit.
Fair enough.
Well, not actually, but
You
if I...
to anyone else, you just come off as someone who's just got a hood up. To the Seekers, you come off as they know exactly what you're wearing now that their informant has told them. So you come off as trying to hide.
Well, I don't have any other clothes I can wear.
Fair enough, but
Yeah.
you know,
I
it's
could
really
buy
funny
spare
that you come
clothes.
off as trying to hide rather than yeah.
Well, I guess I can also just be intimidating and just not try to hide.
Same thing.
Just T-pose on them.
I don't
No,
think that
yeah,
would I don't think that would work.
I think I'm gonna keep the hood down, actually, yeah.
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 So we just look at, as usual.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just walk up. So you're just walking directly in the direction of where this map pointed you towards, then,
Yep.
with intention.
Yep.
Yes. Roll a stealth check.
Why?
Because I want to see. And this is not necessarily for stealth. This
Oh,
is for
sure.
how. This. The higher you roll, the less likely you are to be noticed by these people, so to speak. Just in terms of luck.
Sure.
Okay, so Ilya, since Ajusai rolled low, Ilya rolled higher. Essentially, what would happen is that they might see Ilya, but Ilya looks a bit more normal than Ajusai, so it wouldn't matter. But then they see the
Yes.
Ajusai, they see Ajusai, and think, oh
Certainly
yes,
does.
this is who we were warned about.
Yes.
So yeah, you as you sort of begin to approach the sort of further edge of towns, the buildings start to become a lot newer. More recently built. You suddenly find your path blocked by a half-orc man who just sort of walks up to you and just stops right in front of you, I just say.
Greetings.
What are you doing here?
Oh. Well. I believe we're here on some business.
Well, take your business elsewhere.
And why should I do that?
Because, and he leans in close, this is Seeker territory, and we've been told you're
Oh.
snooping.
Well. Isn't that nice? I would like to cast inflict wounds.
Okay.
Cry.
So you reach out to grab him then.
Yep.
I'm going to roll a dexterity saving throw. No, he fails, okay. Click for damage.
Yes. Let's go.
Jeez, how do you want to do this?
Bloody hell.
She takes her pointer finger and just sticks like
Just boop him.
yes, basically, and says, "Well," I said, "we're here on business."
And what happens when you poke him?
Um, hmm. Well, since the name is inflict wounds,
Yep.
I imagine like spreading from that point. Wounds start to open up.
Okay, so do you put it in the shoulder or something, or?
Straight in the chest.
Okay, as you poke in there, he sort of like, huh? And then and looks down as you. There's a sort of almost a cracking sound, like rock cracking, as slowly at first, his clothes begin to stain through red. After about 10 seconds or so, it's spread across his entire torso, and it's just, and you just sort of push your finger forward about another centimeter, and he just falls backwards onto the ground.
Huh. Impressive.
Well, I mean it when I say that I'm here on business.
I can see that.
Radir is blissfully unaware of what is occurring.
Yeah, his plan was they're gonna lower their guard. They won't be anticipating us. We're gonna sneak into the darkness of the night and
Yes, of course.
swiftly deal with this.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
Oh boy. Well, how do you proceed?
Well, we can't kill them all.
Not today. You don't have enough spell slots.
Well, I can.
And also, there is a changeling who is significantly higher level than you.
Yes.
Probably still lurking around town somewhere.
Yep.
I don't think you'll be able to one shot them with a level 1 inflict wounds.
No. So, well, I just say looks at the map again. I think.
From what you can tell, you haven't yet reached the area shown on the map. But you know it's getting close.
Yeah. Well, then she just says, "Well, shall we continue?"
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess we just keep walking.
Yep.
Act as if nothing happened.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you do anything to assuage the stares of people around you as they begin to notice what's happened?
No.
Okay. Okay. You just leave him
If
dead in the street.
If anything, Ilya
Yes.
now has a fucking shit-eating grin on her face.
Oh dear. Well, after a few more minutes, you begin to recognize buildings that are sort of marked on the map. Then
Yes.
and you realize you're getting close to this place.
Good. Yeah.
It's probably in about 5 minutes or so. No one else stops you on the way.
Hmm.
And you find yourself eventually in front of a general store. Shop front.
Yes.
There's a sign in the window. Deal 2 for the price of 3.
Ah. Well, that will just make I just say even more committed to doing something about this. She has a thing about not letting anyone get victimized.
I mean, they're
and
open. They're being open about it
That's-
at least.
Well, yes. It's still
Yep,
still not nice.
indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. You head inside then?
Yeah, I don't think I expect to see anything like in particular on the outside. It would more be on once on the inside that she might take a
Okay.
closer look around.
Okay. Do you enter at the shop as well, Ilya?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. As you enter, the camera cuts to snoring, and then we cut back to you two.
Yep.
For what you can see, it seems to be a fairly standard general store. Aside from the sign in the window, they've got to be legitimate about their business somehow.
Hmm. Okay. Is there anyone we can see there?
There's someone behind the counter who looks up as you come in.
Ah. Well, hello.
Hello. The man sort of looks at you. I don't think you'd be so bold.
Well, then you don't know me.
Suppose I don't. Just walk into town today. Start snooping around, causing trouble. We deal with a slight problem that we've had to deal with for a while, and now here you are, causing more
Indeed.
problems. He shuts the book he was reading and puts it to one side. Do you know who we are?
Seekers, I believe.
Yes. Now then, he sort of slowly walks towards you. I believe that it's time for you to leave.
I care to disagree.
He keeps walking towards you. See, here's the thing. And as he approaches you, he reaches out a hand to touch you. Do you let him?
um, I. Mm, I think she would be suspicious and instinctively dodge out of the way, or back away a bit or something.
Ilya would cast Detect Magic while that is happening.
Okay. So firstly, make a dexterity saving throw
Okay.
for you, since you're dodging.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be. Yeah, that you do succeed in dodging out of the way. He sort of frowns at you. You really are intent on staying here, aren't you?
She grins.
Ilya, meanwhile, you casting Detect Magic?
Mm,
Okay.
just for.
You sense, it's quite difficult. There seems to be a fair amount of magic led over this shop, far more than you'd expect from just a standard general store.
Hmm. Is there anything around the person itself?
Nothing around him specifically. However, what you do find is there's a lot of very strong magical, almost barriers around you. Sort of within like the back door of the store is like covered in some sort of block. Like just beneath the floor there's almost like a box, or like the top layer of a box of some sort of ward, and you can't sense any further than that.
Alright, she will, like, after she gets all the information, she would just cancel it.
Okay,
Otherwise, she's gonna get a headache. Like, goddamn.
fair enough. The man sort of, well, if you're not going to play nice, he looks at you, I just sigh.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, do you come from this plane of existence? And he's going to cast Banishment.
Oh.
Make a charisma saving throw. Bloody hell. You sense him trying to force you into a different plane of existence, and you just wrench yourself back to the material plane.
Huh. So that's how we're going to be.
Why do you get in people's business?
Well, there's lots of reasons, really.
Well, I'm sure, but... quite like to hear it from you specifically. Given you're the one who's intruding, I feel like you owe us some answers. Roll
Well.
perception, both of you.
Okay.
Perception.
Is it something 11 passive would get?
No.
Well,
Yeah, you both notice him trying to, sort of... He puts one hand behind his back and begins to weave it in what you might assume to be some sort of spell pattern.
Also, I sent you a...
Thank you for letting me know. Ba-da-ba-ba. And you're not... ba-da-ba-ba, I mean... do you want me to answer this, like, in text or in voice?
We can do it in text.
Text, okay.
let me know when you're ready, and I think I have an answer.
I don't even know what resistance does. It has nothing in it.
Should I answer now, or yeah, I wait. I guess.
I think she's dealing with the
Yep.
message right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's what resistance does. Okay.
Oh, did you think that it was 5 rather than 8?
Yeah.
Ah, I see. Okay, fair enough. Does that
That's
change?
why I went. That's why I went to a long rest, because I thought I'll be done by 9. That should be fine.
Sadly, no. It's midnight. Bit of an issue. Do you want to retcon anything?
And a short rest won't give him anything, so.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, that they would have been much lower guard at 2 in the morning. So I think that the plan would have worked anyway. Past
Yeah.
tense would have.
Yeah, it's just that that thing I sent is what he was planning to do originally anyway, just not in as much of a hurry.
Gotcha.
So it kind of needs to be before 10.
Okay. I mean, if you want him to have said like he set an alarm for times he didn't get the full benefits of a long rest, it's your choice.
I don't know. That wouldn't really get him anything, though.
That's fair.
I mean, I suppose, like, we could do something like taking half a long rest to get half the spell slots just this one time.
I'm fine with doing that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can say 4 hours. So by 8 p.m. then, you can get half your slots back. I'd say it's probably about.
How does that apply to all the other things? Because this is the thing. This is the issue.
Yeah.
My entire kit is long rest to reset.
I will just allow you to get half of your resources back. So so every spell slot, take half the spell slots of that level rounded.
What about my daily silvery bobs and daily misstep, though?
Maybe just choose one of them, because half.
Yeah, I think choose
Gotcha.
one, and
Alright.
half your bardic inspirations as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair way to do it.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, so choose one, half spell slots, half inspirations. But this is still going to be in probably 5:30,
let's see, it should
6:30, 7:30, like 2.5 hours from now.
Yeah. Because it's been 1.5 since he went.
Yeah, about that. So it's about 5:30 now, I would say. So, but yes, I would let. But all the things that you've said, I would let you do.
All right. How much gold do I need to take away from that?
I do not remember. I'd have to check later. But it's still going to be several hours, so I will figure it out later.
All right. All right.
Okay, so back to what I just said then.
Yeah. So I think. Well, I just don't like seeing people being taken advantage of. And it seems your activities have done that, to say the least.
Well. He seems to be intent on coming in here and making a mess of things for us.
Well, it's also fun.
Will it be fun when you end up dead on the floor?
How amusing.
He is going to cast. Let me check this just to make sure that I know what I'm doing, or at least know what I'm not doing. That's a bit. That's 7th level. No. See, part of the problem is I did all the prep for this at 4 in the morning, and I forgot to prep any sort of spell pre open up spell tabs.
yeah, fair.
I'm just gonna open the whole wizard spell list rather than relying on looking up specific spells and seeing, oh wait, no, that's like 5 levels above what I want.
Yeah, that's
Let's
a
see.
good idea.
Wizard spell list. Spell
I only
plus-
employ 7 HP.
Yes, I know. This is the problem.
I mean, I can,
I'm not going to just one-shot my players unless it's with a crit assassinate. I don't know.
I have
Let's
false
see
life,
what's
I
in
guess.
here.
I have some tricks.
I
How's
technically have
this
false
one?
life, yeah.
Oh, that would work. He sort of looks at you and, well, see ya, and cast Dimension Door.
I want to counterspell with my Banshee's Veil.
At what level?
Well, that's 3.
Yes, but what level does it count as?
Level
3.
level 3 for Banshees. So you have to roll for this.
Yes. I guess I'm just.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So DC is 10 plus the spell's level. So make an ability check using your spellcasting ability.
Okay. That would
just be
then-
a charisma roll.
Okay. So yes, charisma roll. Yeah. Okay. Actually, does it? Because it's spellcasting, does it add my?
No,
And
it's just an
proficiency as
ability
well?
check.
Using your spellcasting ability, not
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
the
Okay.
modifier.
Yeah. Good.
He's going to replace that with a 3 because his divination was a bit important. And he just vanishes right in front of you.
Ooh. Or wait, actually. Oh, so he used it on himself.
So he Dimension Doored himself,
Oh
because
yeah.
Dimension Door is a self-teleport,
Okay.
and
yeah,
he can
I
only bring
can't
willing creatures.
I can't use Banshee's Veil then. I
Ah,
can't
right,
counterspell
okay.
that.
Yeah, never mind then. Okay. Well,
So,
you still know.
yeah.
Well.
Right, right.
Outside of the game, you know he's important. You know he's a divination wizard then. Slightly
Yeah.
concerning.
But I don't know that. Or rather, Adisa doesn't know.
Yeah, actually doesn't know that. So he just Dimension Doors. So he is just he just twists in on himself and is gone.
Running away, I see.
Well,
Well, I got some information on this room at least.
oh.
The back door has some kind of magical barrier around it. Or like something like a block, and in general there is a lot of magical stuff in here.
Well. I see.
I would assume that we probably have to go to the back doors. So we would have to figure out what kind of barrier that is.
Yeah. Since we're here, we might as well take a look, even if someone isn't here anymore.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of left us here by him, you know, by his own actions.
Indeed. Yeah. So,
So what do you wish to do?
investigation?
Okay, roll investigation then. Okay. You just are you investigating like the whole? Was it just the door? Was it like the whole room or? Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think Adisa would probably go for sort of general, even though Ilya said specifically about the door. I think Adisa would more look through stuff. Although if that is too big, I can go for just the door.
No, you can do everything. You can do whatever you want. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So looking over the shop, you see that most of the items and shelves and stuff seem to be quite just fairly standard stuff. It does seem to be a very well-run shop front, even if it is a little annoying in other aspects, so to speak. The book that the man was reading is a book of secret propaganda. With no listed author.
Okay.
There is 25 gold in the till.
Yeah, I guess I will take that.
And while locked, there is a magically reinforced cabinet with some health potions inside. Yep.
Yeah, so do I just add the money?
Yeah, if you don't want to try and go for the health potions.
Yeah, I guess I will take the money at least.
Okay, so add 25 gold to a total.
Yeah. And yeah, she'll point out the health potions to Ilya.
Yeah, Ilya would probably grab those just in case.
They're in a magically reinforced locked cabinet.
Oh boy. Smash it!
Are you sure?
No, that was a joke.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
I know, I usually smash things. But I'm not stupid enough to smash something that is magically enforced.
Fair enough. The door itself, as well, is very heavily warded. As you go to put your hand near the handle, you sense a heat begin to build and take your hand away quickly.
Ah.
This is gonna be an issue.
Well. So there doesn't, like, seem to be anyone else in the building. I guess you said there might be things... Okay, so I guess there might be stuff behind this back door, I suppose?
Yes, the back door is warded, and as Ilya found out, the right beneath the floor is also a warding that almost feels like the top of a box. You can sort of sense the extent. Ilya can sort of barely sense it extending on the ground a little bit at the edges.
So there's probably something to... It would be nice to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Adisa is just thinking of burning down what can burn.
Well, it's
And
your
then-
choice.
Seeing if there's anything left. And maybe, like, if, like, technically, or I guess what material is the building?
It seems to be. There's a sort of wooden facade over it, but it's very much. Otherwise, mostly stone.
Yeah, okay, then I don't think she would really, because had it been just wood, she would probably have tried burning down the outside wall so she could go through a non-empty wall later.
Fair enough.
Yes.
But yeah, that probably won't work then.
Yeah.
We have the final boss again, opening a door.
Okay, but you have a reason for this one to be a boss, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can always head back to Radir and wait a few hours if you want.
No.
Of course they are not gonna do that.
Well, of course they're not, but it was worth
Yes.
it was worth reminding them of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he can open doors.
Yeah.
I certainly don't know. Maybe.
We'll just wait for him to come back.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna walk this mile again.
Indeed. Oh yeah, I do realize I have a way to get more sorcery points as well.
Mhm.
I can convert spell slots.
Yes. Yes. The
So
most
I'm gonna on a coffee lock.
the most infamous feature of sorcerer.
Well, actually, let's look at that. So, since we're in there, I suppose, like, since the door seems to be magically enhanced, would, like, trying to destroy it by simply destroying it, could that work, or like
You. Hang on. What's the
Uh,
phrase? You can certainly try.
yeah. And I guess I wouldn't necessarily know if she could or not.
Yeah. You are unaware of whether it would work or not.
Okay. In that case, tentatively, she will throw a firebolt.
A firebolt at the door.
Yep.
So roll for the firebolt then.
Yep.
And roll damage. And roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, fun.
As you throw the firebolt,
Wait.
What?
I can use resistance. I can touch one willing creature. Once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one saving throw of its choice.
Well,
I do not think a
that's
6 will work.
It can roll. Okay.
I
fair
would
enough.
allow you to retcon it in if you want to.
No.
Okay.
Now then, what happens
Yes.
to?
So what happens is that you throw the firebolt,
Uh-huh.
and it hits the door, and there's a flash of magic across the door, and the door throws the firebolt back at you. So you take 7 fire damage.
Yes.
This is the interesting part. You can now get angry at the
Rebuke.
door.
And hellish rebuke, you mean?
Yeah, you can now hellish rebuke the door. But because the door attacks you.
Yes.
So in theory, you could hellish rebuke the door.
Actually, yeah, this isn't just fire resistance, is it?
I think it's like magic in general.
Because I can ignore fire resistance.
The door. It's not necessarily the door is resistant to fire.
Yeah.
It's the door
Yeah.
reflected the spell.
Yes. I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yep.
Well, I. Well, given that it bounced magic back, I think it's reasonable for her not to try to rebuke it.
Okay.
She would be a bit wary of that.
Okay. So if you're very angry, you know where to direct it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Ilya, you got any ideas?
Well, I can't just hit it with my scythe because it would probably just fling me across the room.
You don't know that.
I don't want to try. Not after seeing Ajay being hit by her own fireball.
Fair enough. I can give you an out-of-game hint if you want.
And I guess, like, I might see you looking at sight. Mind if I borrow that?
Sure.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Yeah, I want to try it.
Just don't break it,
I
please.
don't believe you have proficiency with those weapons.
Probably not.
No. Yeah, daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows.
Okay.
She's gonna fling it around.
Okay. How do you want to attempt this?
Well, I mean, she's seen Ilya use it sometimes, so she'll try to mimic that.
Roll an attack at disadvantage.
Absolutely. What should I roll for that? A strength or? what?
Yeah. Make a strength check disadvantage then.
Yes.
4.
Yes.
You attempt to lift this weapon, and as you go to swing it, it falls from your grasp and goes and just falls on the floor.
Ilya just giggles.
I want you both to make religion checks.
Sure.
Religion, okay.
The Seekers is closest to religion here, I suppose.
Fair enough.
Ilya, you're not totally sure about this. I just say something that you realize is possibly maybe something that as you drop the weapon, you realize might be the reason why you attempted it in the first place. The Seekers are mostly made up of mages. They might not think to protect their property against non-mages.
Well, yeah, and I would sort of say, you know, I really think this might work. And she points at the site.
All right, I will give it a try, I guess.
Yes, you should
She then goes.
probably not let me borrow it again.
Yeah, she goes to pick up the scythe
Okay.
and then attacks the door, I guess.
Roll next. No, I'm fine. Roll an attack if you want.
Yeah, probably just my scythe then.
Yep.
Well,
Not disadvantage, so that would just be a 12, because that's the first. No,
no,
it's
oh, right, sorry,
slashing
right,
and
yeah, so
necrotic.
20 hits, 12 slashing, 3 necrotic. So, firstly, roll a dexterity save. You dodge the 3 necrotic damage. Essentially, as you dig your scythe into the door, there's a as the wood splinters and cracks. But the magic, even as the magic begins to splinter itself, there's a as it flashes and tries to reflect the necrotic damage back to you. However, you just simply tilt to the side, and the pulse of energy just sort of flies past you, impacting.
Am I in the way?
No. I would assume that you knew better than to stand in the way.
That would have been so
It
funny.
impacts into the entrance doorway and sort of leaves a sort of a dark, almost like soot across it.
Well, it looks like this works.
Well done.
The door is still standing, but it is severely damaged physically. The magic is also a
Severely
bit
as well.
cracked, but it still seems to be holding.
Can we see through it?
Make a perception check.
I will also do one since I stand like right in front of it.
Well, since I'm actively looking at it, can I roll investigation instead?
Sure.
It's worse for me, but
Okay. It just seems to be dark beyond the door, from what you can see
Yeah.
at the moment.
sure. Well, I can see in darkness though, but
Got a
It's-
dark
it's- it's-
vision.
It just seems dark beyond the door.
yeah. Okay, sure. That's fair.
Oh boy.
Well,
I could give it another whack, but can't promise I can dodge the damage.
Well, you can try again.
Alright. Then we just do another one of those. Okay.
You swing your weapon, unaware of the fact that Agisai is trying to peer through the door. Realizing at the last second, you managed to not attack Agisai, and also failed to attack the door, and you just sort of and you sort of let go of your weapon, and it sort of flies forward just behind Agisai's head, and sort of bonks into the wall and sort of lands with a clatter.
Sorry about that. I didn't notice you there.
Agisai can roll perception to see if she noticed that she almost got hit with a scythe if she wants to. No, you did not. You have no idea what Ilya is talking about.
yeah. I can't be surprised, but this is not quite that.
Yeah.
Well, Ilya goes to pick up the scythe again.
Okay. Do you want to roll another attack?
Sure. Let's do. It's three. It's three. Yeah. There we go. That's better.
Okay, roll damage. And dexterity save. Okay. Yeah. You you swing a scythe at the door again. The blast on the necrotic blast back just misses. Once again impacting where the previous one was and adding to the sort of the dark splotch on the entry door. You sense the door trying to hold, and after a moment it just and the magic shatters in a visible sparkle.
Now then.
Well, nicely done.
I wouldn't have attempted it if you didn't actually notice this thing. Didn't really want to get flung across the room.
That's fair. Seems like the Seekers might be as incapable of physical feats as I am.
Yeah, they're
Seems
more-
like it.
It's quite possible they're more worried about traitors within their own organization than anybody else. They think they're too good for anybody to care about, for anybody to be against them. More worried about traitors. Of course, it could be that they don't think there could be traitors at all. Who knows? Who would betray the Seekers? Well, do you enter?
Yeah.
Camera cuts to
Absolutely.
snoring again.
Well, the two women are out on an adventure. The man is just at home sleeping.
God.
Something girls at the sleepover versus boys at the sleepover.
Yeah.
God. I assume it's like 2 hours left now.
Technically, there's probably just like a minute, but I would say sure it's about 6. But it'll be 6 by the time the little time skip is over. So the two of you make your way into the pitch black corridor. It seems to be magical darkness. I want you to make investigation checks as you begin to make your way forward.
Oh god.
Both of you keep your hands on the walls as you walk forward. Ajasai, you also make sure to you sort of walk in a sort of slight crouch, keeping one hand close to the floor in case you feel anything that's different there.
Mm-hmm.
And you manage to avoid.
You could do that.
You sense a heat approaching from approaching your hand on the floor, and you stop.
Ah. There's something here.
Oh,
roll-
probably another magical thing.
Yep. You take a moment to sort of run your hands over, and with an investigation from the previous investigation check, since you found it before, it feels like there's the stone slab in front of you is potentially loose, or otherwise perhaps some sort of trigger that you don't want to step on.
I suggest we avoid that.
Okay.
And she
Make your
explains
way around it
to
without much issue.
Aurelia.
Another investigation check from you, if please.
Another one.
Yes.
Oh god.
You keep your hands on the walls. It's several seconds later that you realize the walls are gone.
Oh. Huh. I
Well,
could have sworn there were walls.
You can try and retrace your steps if you want to try and go back the way you came. Although it is magical darkness, so
Check something.
ooh.
I don't know if that will work though. Because I have the cantrip light.
it's magical
it
darkness.
doesn't-
It wouldn't work.
Yeah, that's what I was checking, but it doesn't say. Like, it doesn't say that it's not working in that, but I was like, probably not.
Yeah. I can see through the darkness created if I cast the darkness spell,
Yes,
but not
and
if
you
others
did,
cast it.
and you did not. It is permanent
Yes.
magical darkness.
Indeed.
Oh boy.
Well.
So you slowly walk backwards until you find where the walls end. It seems to be the entrance to a room. You don't know how you missed it, but there seems to be some sort of empty door frame that you walk through just before the walls open up. It's quite possible this is a large room that's not when it's not magically dark.
Interesting.
What do you wish to do? Do you wish to explore the room?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, roll investigation. 10 and 11. Okay. It's a little bit difficult to really find anything of note. You sense that the walls are made of some sort of brick, but you can't really see anything. You both make your way around the walls, and you don't feel anything that feels like a door or any other entranceway. And after a few minutes, you end up bumping into each other.
Huh.
Roll perception, both of you. Neither of you realizes something. So I can't really say anything beyond that.
Yep.
Do you wish to attempt to explore the interior of the room or just the walls?
Yeah, well, at this point, I decided isn't turning back, so she
Yeah,
would,
we're in too deep at this point,
Okay.
really.
Roll investigation for the interior of the room then. 18 and 8. Okay. Ilya, you've got a good grasp of the space now. Once you realize how big the room is. So you sort of find it quite easy to sort of figure out roughly how many steps you can take before you reach the other wall. I find it much harder and is going a lot slower. So doesn't find much to start with because you're sort of trying to just map the size of the room. So in that case, Ilya, you find a table in the middle. It's quite small, only about maybe a meter by a meter. On the table, you feel that there's 3 what feel like pint glasses or mugs. Testing them, they all feel full of liquid.
Can I sniff them?
Yes, you may. Roll perception. One smells like alcohol, and the other 2 have no scent at all.
So probably water.
Probably.
I would assume at least.
You also, feeling around the rest of the table, you find a, what feels like a metal plate with bumps and dots all over it. I'm assuming your character doesn't know Braille.
No.
No. Not that that's necessarily a language in this world officially, but
She wouldn't know, no.
no.
Definitely
And you
not.
don't have comprehend languages.
Nope.
Okay. Do you point any of this out to Ajisai?
Yeah, I would tell her everything as I go.
Okay. Ajisai, do you have comprehend languages, or otherwise a reason for your character to know Braille?
I don't have comprehend languages.
Okay.
And I mean, since she both has dark vision and can see through the darkness of her own darkness spell,
Mm-hmm.
I doubt she would. Like, the only thing would be if, like, she knew someone growing up, but not in particular, no.
That's fair. As you're thinking about this, roll a Arcana check for me.
Okay.
Okay. Do you wish to continue searching the room, or do you wish to further investigate the table?
I think it makes sense for her to, now that we have the table, it seems quite interesting and peculiar that it would be these 3 glasses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably about 6:30 by this point. 6:30 at the earliest, I'd say, for Radea's purposes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel anything else about the table that feels off. The underside is completely smooth. The top side is, other than the metal plaque, is smooth. There's it just seems like a completely normal, albeit very out of place table.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many level 40 chests you're playing here.
I don't know.
Single piece of furniture in the middle of a room.
I'm playing at one level higher than you. That's all that you need to know. So, I'm going to let you roll another Arcana check.
Okay.
Yes. And roll another Perception check for earlier as well. Then. Nothing for you, and Ilya as well. You, Ilya, realize that once you move a certain distance from Agisai, you can no longer hear her.
Huh. Oh boy.
In this room. Sort of like you're sort of like exploring the room, and as you do so, you realize that at a certain point you just can no longer hear Agisai's footsteps or any sort of like scraping or scrabbling of testing surfaces.
Mm. So is it like, no, it won't be silence.
Yeah. You also you don't. So the yeah, the room just as far as you can tell, the only thing that's in this room is the three glasses and the metal plaque on the table.
Mm. And all the fucking darkness.
Yeah, but the darkness is maybe there to prevent you from doing anything.
Yeah.
Who knows? You let do you let Agisai know about the sound thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Agisai, you would be familiar you might be familiar with the spell work of the sound, and it just seems to it would be something that wouldn't really be dispellable. It's something that's just that would be over the whole room at all times. But roll another Arcana check.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give it to you this time. You realize that if only this was my darkness, I might be able to see through it.
Uh-huh.
And you wonder what
Oh.
happens if you overlapped magical darknesses.
Oh. Well. Hold on a moment. Guess. Oh yeah, it actually does say that I can cast it. It doesn't say that I can only cast it once using sorcery points, which is good.
Yeah.
Because I had earlier. So I'll spend a level 2 spell slot still as a bonus action to get 2 sorcery points.
Mm-hmm.
And then I cast darkness with those 2 sorcery points.
Yep, that works. Okay. The room suddenly becomes dimly visible to you.
Ah. Well, isn't this nice?
What
And-
happened?
I overlap the darkness and it's at least a bit clearer.
Ah, that's good.
What you see is the room seems fairly standard. There's nothing really stands out. However, you can now see the writing on the plaque. There's also something you wouldn't have seen before. There's magical writing on the table. Next to the plaque, which you might surmise it reads the same as it would for those with sight.
Ah.
It reads, behold ye glasses 3. One doth intoxicate, one doth give sight, one doth take it away forever.
Oh. Huh. Seems like there might be some well, gambling going on here.
Yes. You know which one is the intoxicant by the smell of alcohol,
Yes.
but the other two smelled identical.
Please don't tell me you want to take that gamble.
You have a 50-50 chance currently. You might, however, choose to make perhaps a medicine check or test a small amount of what very well may be a potion or some sort of magical construct. You could also further investigate the room.
Yes.
I mean, technically,
Yeah.
if you take all three of them, mix them together so you don't know which one is like shuffle them around so you don't know which one is which. Guess before smelling, and then you try and find the one that has the alcohol in it, and then you now improve your chances.
Tay.
You know that's yes. That's
But here's the thing, right? They already know which is the alcohol, and assuming they had, like, there's only one goat in this problem, Tay.
well, fair.
The other one just kills you.
That's
If you've chosen the goat, they reveal the door that you've chosen the goat.
right. That's fair, actually.
Is there a way to check what it is without testing it?
You might choose to make a medicine check,
I mean, I could make a medicine check.
or perhaps
I
a nature
mean-
check.
Medicine would be better for me. It gives me 6.
Okay. Oh, okay. You've heard. Actually, relays this information to you, and you know you've heard of both of these potions before. One is a potion of true sight, which gives you temporary for up to an hour with a standard dose, vision in all situations, even through magical darkness. The other, a potion of blind sightlessness, often blinds the target for several hours, in all situations, to the point where they can't, where no matter whether their eyes are open or closed, they cannot even detect the faintest form of light. However, you are aware from something from your family, having explained poisons of Shadowfell to you, that adding certain ingredients from Shadowfell to this potion can make the effects permanent and irreversible. Well, medically irreversible. Magic might be able to do
true
something.
resurrection.
There's always wish, or some,
And
or
true
perhaps,
resurrection.
yeah, or perhaps some other way of removing
Yeah.
or changing cursed effects.
Just remove curse.
It might not be a curse. It might be a potion. Either way, the most important part of these is that a potion that permanently removes sight would have Shadowfell ingredients in it. And you, of course, being Shadowfell attuned, would be able to sense them.
Ooh. True.
So if you cast Detect Magic, you'd be able to sense these ingredients. And thus,
Time
and
to
thus,
go
if
do
it's
that.
if it's a permanent blindness potion, you would be able to know which it is.
Yeah. Yeah, then I will just detect magic, I guess.
You sense, from the three you're facing with the alcohol in the middle, you sense the left one, from your perspective, gives an aura of darkness around it.
Alright. So the right one it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I will just tell Ajisai that.
Is that just on the same side of the table as you?
I would stand next to her, yeah.
Okay, so it is the same right.
If anything, I would have also pointed at it because, you know, she can actually see right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh yeah, you can point it and I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you drink it, or do you both drink half?
So I guess I would just ask Gilead, do you know if one needs to drink all of it for the effect?
You would know that drinking less of a true sight potion simply decreases the duration. It's a very potent brew, and the amount of drink is just the duration, so to speak. So a draft of about a pint would give you probably about 4 hours.
Yeah, so drinking half would still
Would give you
be
both
quite-
2 hours.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is
that sounds fair
coincidentally
enough.
almost about exactly the same amount of time as Radia has before he arrives here.
Well, in that case, shall we?
Yeah.
Do you both drink half?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, potion of true sight. As you drink it, Ilya, your sense of sight begins to return,
Huh.
and you can now see what Ajusai can see as well. Ajusai, your sight brightens until it's the same as it would be if you were outside in the sun.
Hmm.
Once the room is normal brightness, both roll perception. You both notice that certain bricks around the room seem to be glowing with an almost ethereal light. And with your detect magic still up, going over to one Ilya, you realize that the signature is so faint that if you didn't realize it was there, you wouldn't be able to sense any difference around the innate magic of the room with detect magic up.
Mm.
Ooh. Fascinating.
What languages do you two speak?
Common, celestial, and undercommon.
Common, Sylvan, Elvish, and Undercommon.
Okay. Written in Celestial
Mm.
are the numbers 1 through 5
Huh. Interesting.
across 5 different bricks.
Hmm.
Oh, you see anything in particular?
Well, you see these, letters, I guess.
Hmm.
They're celestial, and they're just numbers 1 through 5.
The letters
Ah.
are numbers.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
Well, who knows what they look like? Could look like a letter to people that don't know the
Oh,
language.
absolutely.
See?
I'm sure any letter would look like a number to someone who didn't know the language.
Yeah.
I just found the phrase
Well.
amusing.
The letters are numbers.
The letters, what do they mean?
We're
then I
about to
suppose
see.
we just push them in the right order then.
I would assume so. Push the funny bricks.
Yes. If I'm told which ones to push, I will help out in pushing them.
Well, I would assume that it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Like
Yeah.
that we should probably press them in that order.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you press them in the order listed.
Yes.
Okay. As you touch it, it lights up. It doesn't give off any stronger magical frequency. It just seems to glow slightly stronger. And as you touch the 5th one, all 5 glow a little brighter for a moment, and then there's a rumbling sound, and you see the wall opposite where you came in opening up to reveal an entranceway.
Interesting. Well, shall we?
Well, indeed.
Do you enter
By the-
Do you enter them?
Yeah, by the time Radir gets to us, we're already done investigating and
Once
dealing
again,
with
camera
everything.
cut to snoring. As you enter this room, Ajusai,
Yeah.
you sense a heat begin to emanate from your pocket. or wherever it is that you keep your magical items.
Yeah.
Do you reach in?
Sure.
You pull out the Wheel of Stars.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem to be hot in terms of actual physical heat. It seems to be almost trying to warn you of something.
Huh. Well, there seems to be something afoot. Can I try to look around or something?
It just seems like a normal corridor.
My detect magic is still up, right? 10 minutes haven't passed yet, I think.
They have now.
Ah! They haven't! It didn't take us 10 minutes for this shit.
No, it didn't. But they've
Oh.
passed now.
Oh god. Well, let's just say that my detect magic also just pooped.
No, it didn't.
No?
Oh yes. Oh wait. In your case, yes. If you're saying that, I just say yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I don't think it really should do that. Is there anything? Would she? Don't said there might be time shenanigans going on.
Well, if you leave if you return, if you take a few steps backwards into the room again, you might be able to see what happens.
I guess because he's warned of going forward, she will back just for a moment. Like,
Ilya would also back off, even though I think she would be behind Ajay's side to begin with.
Okay. As you leave the corridor, Ajasai, it seems to cool down again. Radir?
Yes.
You awaken having completed your half rest.
Okay. All right. Well then, I head downstairs.
Okay.
Not seeing the others around, I go to the innkeeper. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I happen to know my compatriots are.
I believe they. He sort of looks around. There's no one else in the room. Sort of headed off to go do their own investigating.
They tell you where they be going?
Technically not, but the person who they were here to meet told them to head east. And well, I shouldn't know this. He sort of pulls out a bit of parchment, hastily scribbles down on it. Head to this store.
Alright. I pack it away and then pull out my coin pouch.
Don't forget the map and stuff we left behind.
well,
Oh, did you leave that map behind for Radir?
We left a map and
And the
note with
message and
with
my
the tooth.
token.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, I was zoned out.
I thought it was intentional that he had hid it from Radir.
Yeah.
God.
For a second, I was like. is
No,
that-
sorry, I zoned out. So you gave those to the innkeep, right?
Yes.
In that case, then rather than scribbling out, he just passes you the map and
Okay.
the token.
Alright. I dash outside.
Okay.
And I shout in through the door. Where can I find a magic shop?
He sort of calls. There'll be one on your way.
Alright. I dash over there as fast as my
Okay.
tiny legs can carry.
so you go inside the shop then.
Yes. On the way, I scribble a very quick and hasty list.
Okay.
As I enter the shop, is there anyone else there?
Just not at the moment. It's quite late. The sort of shop owner seems to be sort of packing up for the evening. Sort of, oh, late customer.
Urgent. I plump the list I have been scribbling on top of his counter.
Mm-hmm.
On 8 scrolls. On the double.
Let's see. Picks them up, sort of looks at them. Something specific here. I think we got all of these. Give me a moment. It's probably about 4 or 5 minutes or so of impatient waiting before the clerk returns with carrying all the scrolls you requested. It's about 360 gold for the collection.
All right. That's a fine price for me. 316 or
360, 60.
Ah. That puts me there. Yep.
Yes, it does.
All right.
You asked and you have received.
Yep. I then head out, and I immediately pull out one of the scrolls,
Okay.
and I use it to cast Phantom Steed.
Okay.
Jump on top of it and kind of go. You better run like the wind. Oh, this is gonna get hairy.
It does as requested.
All right.
You two, back in the shop, are you still, once you realize these time things are going on, do you stay within the room? Or do you progress forward, or do you progress back, or do you return backwards?
Adiusai sends a message to Redir, realizing that, okay, time might have actually passed. Well, she will send it to the token. She doesn't know if the innkeeper might still have it, but she figures, since time might have passed now, she might as well try it.
You sense your attempt at sending a message is blocked by the magical barriers within the passage here, and you'd have to leave the place in order to do that.
I love that. She will not do that. I guess, well... Oh, wait. We only had 2 hours of true sight.
Yes, you did. And I believe it was about...
I think it said 6:30.
Yeah, it was about 6:30 or so when you drank it.
Yep.
And it's probably now about 8:15 as Redir is riding eastward.
Oh God.
Well. I suppose if we don't want to get completely blinded again, we might have to try to progress.
Probably.
And, well, Redir will hopefully arrive sometime soon.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So do you re-enter the corridor?
Yes.
And do you run through it, or do you just walk normally?
Before we go in, I think I'm just gonna cast False Life on myself.
Okay. Do you also want to attempt to memorize the bricks you push and in what order?
Yes.
Okay, just make an intelligence check for that then.
So first of all, let me put.
I would allow Ilya to do this too. Sorry, I just had to do this as well if you want to memorize the order of the bricks being pushed.
Let me just first of all
And which ones.
do this one. I believe it was.
Mm.
I mean, they have alcohol on the table. Just saying.
You didn't sense any magic from it. It's
Exactly.
just there as a
Yeah, a small amount of alcohol.
yeah.
The component I need for the.
Ah, okay, fair enough. You also, I mean, it's a component, so you'd be able to use your cleric focus anyway for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair enough.
What did you want us to?
Make an intelligence check to attempt to memorize the
Oh,
bricks
God.
and which bricks and in what order. I just say you know which order they are in terms of which walls they're on, but you're not sure exactly which bricks they are. And you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to find them in the dark.
Makes
Ilya, however, you sort of take a moment, sort of try and feel the corners of the bricks and how they lay against the others. And you think that, at least for the rest of the evening, you'll be able to recognize which ones you need to push without having to resort to detect magic, without having to resort to a true sight potion again.
Yeah. I think I
Which
need
is
to
quite
roll
lucky
a
because
one.
as you finish memorizing it, your true sight begins to fade.
Oh God. Also, I think for the true false life, I think I have to roll one.
Roll a d4?
Yes.
Yes.
Just roll a d4.
Let me find it real quick. Because I am. There we go.
Okay,
Well,
it's 5.
it's 5. So
I'm giving it to you now.
I already did it. That didn't crash for.
I'm just
this-
there. You go. 10 HP is a 5 like that, on the
Yeah.
on your token. Radia, as you're riding through, you come across the body of a half-orc man, sort of. The front of it, he's just lying in the street. For whatever reason, he doesn't seem to have been picked up or anything, and the entire sort of front of his shirt is dried red.
Is there anyone else around?
No.
I
People seem
continue.
to just be People seem to be giving this area a wide berth at the moment.
Alright, continue.
Okay. Do you two enter the corridor?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you run through or do you just walk normally?
I guess seeing that the sight is fading, I think I might run.
I think Ilya would definitely run.
Okay, you both enter the corridor then.
Yeah.
Radir, you arrive at the at the entrance to the shop. You
Okay.
see a door that seems to be blackened with some sort of magical spark or strike.
What's in the opposite side of the room?
As you enter, you see just an open back door that leads into darkness.
Okay.
And you can probably see that it's there was a door there that's like
Been
splinters
smashed.
and stuff.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's like the part attached to the hinges is still there, just like open, and then there's just half the door on the floor.
You can guess who it was.
There is a very
All
clear
right.
mark. There is a very clear sort of mark on the wall next to the door of like where a scythe might have hit it.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna head inside.
Okay. It's a dark corridor. Roll a perception check as you progress down it. You sort of keep your hands on the walls as you go. Roll a dexterity check for me. There's a... As you step on a stone that seems to shift under your foot.
Okay.
Do you continue forward?
Yes.
You eventually feel the walls of the corridor end as you pass a door frame open out into a big room.
Alright. So, since I'm quite used to navigating,
Yeah.
can I sense the airflow coming from anywhere?
You do sense there is air that continues to flow through this room, so it's quite likely there is an exit as well.
I try to find where the air is coming from.
It's coming
where
from
the air-
behind you. The air is coming from
Okay,
behind
where
you.
the air is flowing. towards,
As you sort of vigor around, you feel a sort of false wall, so that's sort of slid to the side into another entrance.
Okay, I slip inside.
Okay. The two of you running. Maybe a few seconds after you start running, you hear footsteps behind you. And Radir, as you slip inside, you suddenly hear the sounds of two people running away from you.
I'm gonna use Divine Sense.
You sense Agicide's mix of whatever the hell it is. Sort of vanishing quickly into the distance.
How quickly is it vanishing?
Not the speed of a running person.
Okay. As long as I can sense it, I'm gonna follow.
At a walk or at a run?
Since the soul seems to be running, I'm gonna run after.
Okay. As you continue running, suddenly the source seems to stop dead in front at a certain point in front of you, and as you go closer to it.
I try to catch up.
Do you just run? Do you just keep running full tilt?
I temper my pace the closer I get.
Okay. I just say, as you leave the corridor, do you just stay right? And you sense the heat begin to dim from your pocket? Do you stay where you are, or do you move out of the way and keep walking?
Oh, yeah, she can't see anything right now, I guess. Or
Not right now, no. But the corridor still feels the same on the walls. That the walls haven't changed yet. It's just that the time dilation seems to have ended.
okay. Yeah. I think she'll say, I think it might be over for now.
Well, then we can at least catch a breath and not run anymore.
Yes.
The footsteps behind you seem to have suddenly silenced, and you might surmise that it's just that they're still in the zone, and thus the sound won't really be traveling properly.
Mm.
Suddenly,
So
Radir crashes
we
into you from
continue
behind.
Yeah.
Rather, a small being crashes into you from behind. You might assume it's Radir, given how it's quite likely that it will grunt in Radir's accent when it crashes into you.
By Davy Jones' locker, don't stand and walk away.
Maybe don't
Ah.
sleep through the important part.
I thought we were gonna attack during the cover of night.
Why would we?
To maybe not alert them of our presence.
They are alert either way.
Well, what have you found?
Well, we found a shopkeeper, but he disappeared, so we
He
figured
bitched out.
Disappear to where?
well, disappeared as in used the dimension door on himself.
Considering my patronage, I suppose I can see if that shopkeeper has any knowledge of how to track that down. Well, what about this passage?
It appears to have stolen some time from us.
That's worrying.
Indeed, but well, figured if we ran, maybe that could at least mitigate some of it.
What's in rather than what is the passage? Rather, where does it lead to?
I guess we'll soon find out if we continue a bit. Now that you're here, we might as well continue.
Off we go. And
Yeah.
Ilya just starts walking.
All right. Do you two follow then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I would probably still be first.
Okay. You eventually, within a couple of minutes or so, reach what feels like a spiral staircase, heading directly downwards. Ilya, you don't have detect magic up anymore, but you still can sort of feel almost the imprint of the wards that you felt below ground. And you get the sense that this is the edge of them. And that so you sort of you've reached the edge of this part, and then below here is where they extended down to. Do you all descend?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, as you do so, then it just seems to be for now a regular spiral staircase. As you progress down, those of you with dark vision begin to realize that you can start seeing again. You surmise the magical darkness has been left behind.
All right. Can I see anything at the bottom of the stairs?
Only the spiral for now. You haven't gotten too deep yet.
All right.
Ajasai, as you begin around, you start to see light begin to be reflecting off the stones very faintly. And a few steps later, the other two of you begin to see it too. Since you're further behind. I want you to roll stealth checks, please.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So, Ilya, you are sort of realizing when you see the light, sort of maybe you should be quiet. Ayosai, you've never really cared.
Yep.
Radir, you also realize you should be quiet. For some reason, it's a good idea in your tired state to, that Ilya's probably going to be quieter than you, and you just decide to jump on Ilya's shoulders. Essentially, because Ilya's a bit lower than down you on the stairs, you sort of brace yourself against into the back of her shoulders to try and sort of be quieter, I guess, while you're walking down.
I was gonna try something different, but okay.
As you do so, Ilya, feeling seeing sort of this push against your back, stumble forward, and your scythe scrapes loudly against the stone wall.
Oh my god!
It's like a sound. Makes you flinch.
The next time you do that, please fucking warn me.
What, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna jump into the middle of the spiral stairs.
There is a stone pillar.
Oh.
I'm sorry. The architects decided to not let you take full damage.
All right. Continuing then.
Yep, you continue then. After a few more minutes of climbing down, it's getting lighter and lighter. The three of you emerge into a room that seems to be almost an underground warehouse. You see stockpiles of half flame. Just piled up in crates.
Anything else?
You see there are other exits out of the room as well, and Eurydia, having visited this town before and having being aware of the underground nature, know that there are tunnels under the city that help those who deal in less savoury items to move around without having to carry the goods overland.
I take a note from here forth wherever we go, so that I can find this place again.
Okay. Any entrance to the tunnels that you can find would eventually lead here. You just have to know which ways to go, because the tunnels are very, very maze-like. You've never been down there before, but you've heard enough stories.
Yes, that's why I'm saying that I'm making sure that whichever path we take, I'm adding that to memory so that I can find reverse my way back to this room.
Okay. There's a door to the south and a door to the west from where you currently are. There's also a door to the north, which, bearing in mind that you're quite close to the coast, is a little bit surprising to you, Radir. Although the one to the north doesn't seem to be a entrance to tunnels, it seems to be rather connecting to some sort of other operation, potentially.
I kind of nod to the others silently, and then begin walking over towards that.
Okay. Do the two of you follow?
Yeah, makes sense then.
Yeah.
Okay. You make your way up to the door. It's not locked. But it has a symbol that all three of you recognize as the sigil of the Seekers on it.
I mumble under my mustache. Bingo.
Do you enter?
I open the door, but make sure that I'm not visible. So I open the door and follow along with it.
As you open the door, you hear a clearly rehearsed line. Well, took you long enough to get here.
There's an empty doorway.
Oh, right. What do you mean follow along with it then? I thought you meant like...
I assume it opened outward.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay, I'll say it opens outwards then. Okay, fine.
Because standard architecture rules means that if anything leads to a room, that anything should always open outwards from whatever is the most inside part.
Fair enough.
And considering these tunnels were probably there already, since I know about them, they would have been made beforehand.
Okay. Remind me of the Seeker robe colors. I know there's white and orange for the Might Seekers.
Yes.
Why is it like any color specifically for rank, or is it?
No, it's orange and white for Might, purple and black for Night Seekers.
Okay, and the difference was that the Might Seekers were...
Might Seekers are military, Night Seekers are quality of life. And then there's grey, brown, or grayscale robes for those who are non-affiliated.
Yeah. So behind... So you sort of... Well, it took you long enough to get here. The two of you are out of sight of the door, and Radir's behind the door. After a moment, there's a... it's quite rude to just open a door and leave it open.
I use one of my scrolls silently.
Which one?
Because it doesn't... because it's a scroll, I don't have to do anything.
Yes.
Major image.
Okay.
And create an exact replica of myself and have it walk into the door kind of like smirking kind of. Well, I believe this is the first time we'll meet.
Can you see through the image?
No, major image is an exact replica and it's near impossible to distinguish.
No, but can you see?
No, I cannot.
Okay, so you don't. So none of you see anything then. Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
It's the first time you. The face behind the voice behind the door sort of. I'm quite certain it isn't, but maybe you didn't see me.
Well.
Would I recognize the voice?
No, none of you recognize the voice.
Okay.
Probably changeling.
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, putting that together, I kind of go. Can't really blame me, can you?
I suppose not. Well, care to tell us why you're poking your nose into operation?
Well, I'm just curious about this room, eh? Why you got so much heart flame gathered?
Well,
As I highly doubt it's simply monetary.
the woman's voice behind the doorway, and you hear you hear a sound of a chair shifting and sort of footsteps sort of clopping thing around. Ajusai, you specifically hear a sound, which
A what
sounds
sound?
sort of like sort of very faintly,
Ah.
which, bearing in mind how you probably know this is the changeling, you would surmise might be a lizard woman's tail scraping along the floor. Bearing in mind that was the last form you saw the changeling in, and thusly why the others don't recognize the others technically wouldn't recognize that form because they changed in the darkness.
Yeah.
It seems to walk around the office and shuts the door. The sounds are muffled. The system is muffled here on, but you can all still hear clearly. Well, we have this much half flame for reasons that I don't feel I'll disclose to you. You see, a man who we paid and I had to get rid of today, as I'm sure you understand. He started off selling his loads to the residents here, and would then sell some directly to someone that we use as a fence, who would then scroll it away down here. Some of that would get sold on the underground market, and some of that would be kept here for us. The rest would go up north to Avalon. So, now that his job has ended, in no small part to the efforts of those who seem to put a halt to operation in the east, at least temporarily, as I'm sure you understand, the price of half flame here is going to be going through the roof. It's an opportunity for us to make even more money to fund our ventures up in Avalon.
You know, as much as hard flame is a volatile market, there are
There's what, sorry?
there's easier ways to make money, and faster too.
Well, I'm sure, but perhaps those are much likely to get us caught. You probably haven't heard, but some of our operations in other cities around the continents have ended in failure after they got too greedy.
I lean the image against the door, kind of like so he kind of looks confident, and go, well, what if I told you that I happen to have a little bit of a venture myself in mind?
Are you suggesting we work together on something?
Perhaps I could use some hands that aren't against being dirtied.
Given how you've treated us so far today, I'm inclined to disagree on principle, but I have to admit I'm curious.
I kind of look toward the others and like hold my finger over my mouth as I continue. Well, I'm to keep up a facade and some plausible alibi, don't you think?
Suppose so. What did you have in mind?
Well, I believe you have already background checked most of us, but I run a little transport of cargo back and forth between Avalon and Halon. You just so happen to catch wind of recent developments regarding the artifact hunting done by the Empire. And it just so happens to have found part of the route that their big transport ship takes. And it just so happens to intersect with my own route.
Go on.
Well, I am aware that according to the usual farmer's calendar, which to be fair isn't guaranteed, but like, there is the usual storm season coming up soon. I don't think they would be too suspicious if a storm suddenly took one of the ships. And my ship is not registered in the Empire, it's registered in Avalon. In a city where you and yours happens to have a lot of activity. So, if someone were to vouch that my ship wasn't at the scene, as well as some hands to help with the actual accident, so to speak. And if there's any of those magical artifacts that have effects that are beneficial to yours, I wouldn't mind exchanging my cut of the haul for a compensation in gold pieces.
You hear a sort of creaking sound, presuming she leans back on her desk. Interesting deal. Though, and there's no just still enters her voice. If I'm to accept this deal, I would like to hear it from you, yourself, and your comrades, rather than this illusion you sent for safety. I can respect the attempt at subterfuge, but I prefer to make my deals face to face. As I'm sure you understand.
Yes, I believe you understand as well then. You don't really waltz into enemy territory without checking for traps first.
You have my word.
Not
that...
in,
Go ahead, sorry.
not in our business, so why don't we meet halfway and we meet outside of your office where I have no way of guaranteeing my own safety currently. And we both know that words of "it is safe" doesn't really ring true in our business.
Regardless of that, you have my word that my office is not trapped. There's no reason for me to trap such a place where anyone who entered would obviously have gotten through the security around this place to begin with. And besides, how do I know you haven't trapped the warehouse? No. You come in here or there's no deal. Besides, while I'm sure that you can't see through that image, I am unarmed at the moment. Though I'm sure you know that means little to a magician.
Okay. I look towards the others and kind of motion for them to go towards one of the exits, probably the westward one.
Do you listen to him?
So a question.
Yes.
Can I speak telepathically with him within the room?
I mean, you can within the warehouse right now.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. So she would then ask, "What are you planning?"
Well, seems my little ruse has been seen through. So I say we just cut to the chase and, let's say, have them taste a bit of their own supply.
So, what would you have us do? Just,
Well, get out of this room as quickly as possible. Because things are gonna go very noticeable very soon.
To this point, you will remember that half flame is quite explosive in the right situations.
Ilya will just go to where he pointed, I guess.
Now, just say.
I admit that I would rather perhaps try to gain some more information out of this person. But
At this
Yeah,
point,
but-
you hear a, well, are you coming in or not?
well, I suppose if you think this is the best way, then I suppose go ahead.
At this point, I fade the illusion.
Okay. And then do you enter the room?
And then I open the door.
You
And go,
roll perception.
Alright.
Okay, leaning against the desk, you see a lizard woman that I saw earlier, not that you would have been able to see them in the darkness. She's wearing the robes of a neutral seeker. I mean, or rather unaffiliated with either the knight or knight.
Alright.
The office seems to be fairly standard. There's a rather large bearskin rug on the ground between the entrance and the desk, with the head pointing towards the door. With how the illusion was standing,
Yep.
if you weren't aware that the head was raised about half a foot off the ground, the illusion's feet were probably standing inside it.
I mean, I never walked further into the room than just past it, like into the room, really. That's the point.
Yeah. But you hadn't seen into the room, so it's quite possible that... It's quite possible that might have been one of the things that ticked her off, if she didn't just know innately. Given the strength of Major Illusion. Or Major Image, rather. There's a small bookshelf to one side, and the other side seems to have a couple of art pieces. One of which is seems to be a sunset over a fiery battlefield. You can see the silhouette of a dragon against the clouds.
I go. Well, shall we strike a little deal then?
Do you enter the room?
I still stand in the opening of the door.
The woman beckons to you. All three of you.
What is the sources of light in this room?
There seems to be a few sort of magically lit lamps.
How many?
Two on the wall that you're standing near, like sort of facing into the room, and then two on the wall behind the desk. And there's also a sort of hanging lamp in the middle. So it's fairly evenly lit. But magically so. So it's going to be... you can't really use them as sources of fire starter.
Well, just one thing I would like to ensure first.
And what would that be?
With complete confidence, and if you want me to do a performance check for this, I will. Go. How about we drop the act? You're not completely unarmed, are you?
The woman shrugs. I'm a wizard. I don't need arms. Besides, she just begins to grin. Who's to say that who's to say that you can cast spells in this office? Just because I haven't trapped it doesn't mean I haven't kept it safe for me.
Good point. I say as I pull out one of the scrolls.
She sees you doing so and
I hold it outside the door
yeah.
and summon a shadow blade.
Okay.
I then throw it at her.
As it passes the threshold of the door, it dissipates. I'm trying to be hostile.
And then I kind of go. Interesting. Anti-magic field. Some out the guy.
You're cutting out a lot.
Anti-magic field, and we missed the rest of it.
Okay.
Anti-magic field or some sort of artificer gadget.
Yeah. She sighs. I'm trying to be hospitable. You come into my town. Kill my men. Trapeze through my store. Now you stand here in my office, threatening me in my territory. The fact that you are trying to strike a deal doesn't seem to me that you realize that I am the one in the position of power here.
I lean towards the door and trying to kind of see if there's any reaction to this. I go, well, spending some years in the Feywild makes you very cautious.
Simple raised eyebrow. Well, I'm sure I understand. Of course, I'm merely a changeling, not a Fey. I have no power of name, nor of identity. And if I did, well, I wouldn't be spending my days working for the Seekers, would I? No, better to con poor fools out in the wild.
Intriguing.
Now, once again, the three of you, in. Or the deal's off. And I believe we'll have a bit of a problem on our hands.
Have the others left through like the warehouse at this point? Like, have I stalled long enough at this point? Is the question.
If they're leaving, then that's their choice.
Like, have they left the warehouse and they are at the exit that I pointed out?
I mean, if they've chosen to do so, then yes, enough time has passed for that to happen. But that's their choice if they've chosen to do that. So, Ilya, what to say?
Yeah. Mm.
That is a good question.
It is.
It's highly likely, for example, that Ajusai might be too curious and not have moved away yet.
Yeah.
But Ilya might have backed off significantly if you would prefer to be safe from a potential explosion.
Yeah, I think Ilya would have moved out.
Okay.
She can't die yet. She has too much that she still has to do.
Okay. Fair enough. So you're off at the far western door then.
Yes.
And Ajusai? Still just crouching where you are?
I think at this point she would sort of have enough of the games and just step up.
Okay.
I think.
The change. You see the woman, the lizard folk woman you saw before, and the change looks at you. Ah, there you are. Nice conversation we had earlier.
Yes.
Where's that cleric of yours?
Upon this distraction, I'm gonna jump and cut the lamp down.
As you pass through the doorway, you sense a sort of block settle in place over magic.
Yeah.
Make an athletics or acrobatics check for leaping up to the central lamp. Roll an attack. If it's high enough, I'll let you do it anyway. No, sorry.
You're too short.
Would
Go ahead.
would a D4 be able to help that enough?
What's the source of that D4?
I like if I have time to touch him with a guidance.
Guidance would fade
That
upon
would have
crossing the
faded
threshold.
that.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's why I was wondering what the source
Yep.
would be.
Good.
Okay. So no, you attempt to you leap forward trying to cut the lamp, and it's too high up, and you can try and get the tip of your sword close enough, and it just misses, and you land just in front of the lizardfolk woman, who just looks at you and raises eyebrows. What are you planning?
Well, this. I bonus action attack.
Okay, go ahead. Attacking her.
Yes.
It bounces off what you assume to be some sort of mage armor.
I then dash out.
Didn't I tell you this room was warded? She sighs and pushes herself off the desk. Looks at Ajusai. What's you and are you going to let me through?
Like wait.
Since you're standing in the doorway, I guess.
Ah yeah. Okay.
And I remember Deer could have just moved through you because of he's small.
Yeah. Well. Spells can't really affect you while you're inside, so I might as well.
Thank you. She takes a step or two out, and as she does so, she calls out to Radir as you're running away. Didn't you want to strike a deal?
Oh, yes, but I would like to test the validity of your wares. Once you step out into the warehouse, I pull out my scroll and cast Widowgast's Web of Fire.
Okay. Could you please paste the text for that into the chat box? And where are you directing these streaks of fire?
The 5 largest collections of Heart Flame.
So Ilya,
Yeah.
are you within the room or are you just outside the room at this point?
That is a good question. She would have waited until they're trying to leave, but seeing what just happened, she would have jumped out, I guess.
Okay, about to happen in this situation.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
as it's
exactly.
happening. You sense a spike and then a heat behind you.
Yep.
Turn around and you begin to see this. I just say, how do you react? We are almost done, regardless of what happens. I have a few ways we can end session today.
Yes. I think Yeah, actually. So where is she currently?
She is currently barely a step or two outside of her office.
Okay, so barely a step or two.
She may
You
very
could
well
close
be
the
able.
door.
Is it
You could try and close
just
the door.
is it possible for me to get inside her office?
You'd be trying to get in at the same time as she would. Seeing this, she's starting to turn around to throw herself backwards.
Yeah.
Lock the door.
I just like sensing this danger and knowing that the room is protected against magic. Yeah, she would absolutely try to also get in there.
Okay,
I mean, you would be in front of her.
roll a
usually.
strength check.
Yes.
Okay,
course.
seeing this on the other hand, I'm gonna just shout as I'm casting this spell to Ilya. Run and protect yourself, and then I'm gonna misty step over to where they are to push her out of the way and help. I decide.
The spell is still running at this point.
Yes, but it's a bonus action to cast misty step.
Okay, and you wanted the bonus action Misty Step to push
To next to Agisai to help push.
Okay.
So did you save a saving throw?
Strength check.
Okay, strength check.
Yes.
And I'm helping.
This is a dead even on you two, 10 and 10. So,
Portent of
I'm
the
helping.
stars.
I'm saying this. I'm using the help.
yes, and this is where I'm coming in. Now you, because you're helping, now you roll your strength check. Because of Radia's help here.
Okay. Well, I guess I have to do that because he said it was helping first.
Yes. Okay, so dead evens. So you're at a stalemate. So actually, here's the thing: neither of you is getting into the room. And
Well,
at this point,
I was thinking
Go ahead, sorry.
if I could use Portent of the Stars
What does that do?
from the Wheel of Stars. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check, you can make that creature roll a d10 and add or subtract the number rolled.
You win by 2. You sort of struggling to get in the door, and you sort of after a struggle that takes barely a second, you sort of barely manage to overpower her and push her off with Radia's help. Do you dive for the office?
Yes.
Radia, what do you do?
I do whatever I can in whatever position is most optimistic to succeed at this point to close the door.
Roll a dexterity check to see if you can get there in time. No. Ilya, what are you doing?
She is sprinting away from that room.
Okay, so in the course of 6 seconds, you cast the spell with the scroll, which is an
Yes.
action. The spell is currently ongoing.
Yep.
The lines of fire are currently spreading out over the course of 6 seconds. At the end of 6 seconds, they will detonate, which will cause the explosion. Within 6 seconds, it takes within a second or two, Ilya has noticed what has happened, and Ajusai and the Seeker with Changeling have both run for the door. A second later, in the 3rd second, you use Misty Step to attempt to aid Ajusai getting inside the room or prevent the woman from getting inside herself.
Yeah.
A second later, at second 4, Ilya is running at this point,
Yeah.
and Ajusai and you manage to succeed in that. By second 5, Ajusai is in the room. At second 6, you are trying to get into the room.
I'm not trying to get into the room. I'm fine with closing it from the outside.
Okay, you're just closing the door then.
I'm just preventing her from getting
Okay,
in.
so she's been sort of off balance, and she's still back about a meter or so away from the door. At second 6, you close the door. Do you have any last words to her?
I'm gonna go as follows and say to her, this was never about right or wrong, merely transporters and traders' code. You avenge your fallen brethren.
And as the explosion begins, Ajisai,
Mm-hmm.
from inside the office, you feel a blast. For a moment or two, it seems that the wards around the office will hold from the force of it. Then the door begins to blacken. And you can feel the magic around the area just cracking from the force of the explosion. Ilya, as you keep running, you feel the explosion. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh god.
You are thrown forward from almost an earthquake and land prone.
Oof.
Trying to scramble to your feet, you look behind you, just see a blast of fire, just rolling down the corridor towards you. At the last second, Ilya, before it reaches you, as you try and scramble to your feet, Ajisai, as you see the door caving in, and the fireball about to engulf you, and Radia, as you close your eyes, as the explosion begins.
At this point, before his eyes, he's currently like seeing his old crew and kind of going, I'm coming home.
And as this happens to all three of you, you hear a, well, this won't do. And you feel yourself being yanked downwards. The last thing any of you feels before you lose consciousness is the heat above you, and below you, a magic that two of you recognize as that of the Feywild.
As I'm being pulled down, through the flames and the inferno, do I see the lizard woman still in the middle of this? Or
Are you looking at her at the end?
yes.
As you're being pulled down, the last thing you see is her beginning to reach out to you, and the gate that's opened up beneath you. And the last thing you hear is a scream. And losing consciousness from the heat, the sudden change in planes of existence, and the general stress of the situation, that's where we'll end today's session.